we're live. Hi, what's your name and where you're from?
I'm Ileya. I'm from Chico, California. I've been on this street since I was 13 and I'm 34.
Okay.
Daniel, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I'm 32. I'm like 10, 11 years out here, I don't know.
How long have you guys been living in Atlanta?
We've been here about a week, well, a little over a week.
Oh shit, so you guys are pretty good.
We're just traveling through.
Okay. Where are you guys going next?
We're on our way to Texas.
Where?
Well, San Marcos and Austin area, but really all over Texas.
I'm going to Austin in like 2 weeks.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Really, you want to give us a ride?
I am driving.
Yeah, really?
I think so.
Yeah, dude. Well,
We'll
maybe we should talk about that. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so you've been living on the street since when?
I was 13.
How'd you end up on the street?
My mom was a drug addict and a prostitute, and we lived in a small town outside of Chico, California called Durham. And so it was like 2 weeks where she just didn't come home. I guess it turned out she had been being gang raped by her crack dealers the whole time. And then she got back, and I wanted her to get clean, but she didn't. And then she left me in the park to go back to her crack dealer's house, the same ones that did that to her. And she didn't come back. She left me. It was like a concert in the park they used to do all the time when I was a kid. And she didn't come back. It's like 3 in the morning, and I'm like 13, and I'm like have big tits, and I'm already looking like a woman kind of, but I'm still a kid and shit. And some guy started circling the park and trying to get me to get in his car, and so I had to run from him. He turned around one block, and I knew he was coming back because he'd already circled a couple of times and then been yelling at me. So as soon as he turned the corner, I booked it to the opposite end of the park. It's like this big square plaza that has diagonal pathways. So he went around the other way, so I went that way, trying to get away from him. And he pulled up. Somehow he must have done some switch move or something, and he came around the other side, right where I was coming, where I went, and he opened up the door and he tried to grab me. But this guy that sold heroin to my mom, who was only 17, he was this gutter punk, skateboarder, train riding kid, and he seen it going down, and we knew each other pretty well. So he ran up and he hit the dude with a skateboard and knocked the dude back. And picked me up. He's this big dude. He's 6 foot 4 or some shit. He just I'm 100 pounds. He just throws me over his shoulder, goes off running with me, sets me down, wants to get away from the dude, and he's like, "Where the fuck's your mom, dude? What are you still doing down here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. She never came back." So he's like, "Dude, I don't got any sleeping bags, but I got some cardboard. I sleep under this bridge." And me and Brad are down there, who is one of my friends. He was like, "We ain't no funny stuff. We'll keep you warm tonight. Just crash next to us, and you'll be all right." And I decided that I was basically I was safer outside than I was with my mom. I had better friends, so then I just kind of started staying out there. And then my friend Mitch showed up, and he had a stolen car, and he said he was leaving town. My mom kept coming downtown trying to get me to go home, and I was pretty much fed up with her, and I didn't, she kept threatening, kind of like she was gonna call getting the cops on me and say I was a runaway. She wouldn't have, because it would have made her look bad, but I just didn't want to deal with that shit. So I jumped in the stolen car and took off, and then I met some other train riding kids up in Eureka. Started traveling with those kids, and then just kind of just never went back. I just kind of went with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So yeah, that's how I ended up out here.
You've been just
I've settled down and done other shit, worked and had apartments and stuff, but I always found my way back out here. Yeah.
How do you usually travel?
I mostly hop trains, but I hitchhike too. Sometimes, somebody will buy you a bus ticket, or, or you'll have some friends that are traveling through, they got a car or something, you ride with them for a little while, but mostly just trains and hitchhiking.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Any good? What's it like riding a train?
It sucks.
It sucks?
Nah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't know, like...
About froze to
It
death.
depends. Like, in the summertime, on, like, a really, like sometimes, like, trains... You say they got, like, flat wheels, is what you'll say. But it's just, like... It's just a loose fucking, like... bearing. Or something's wrong. Like, the whole thing shakes, dude. And, like, it can break your ribs. That shit sucks.
Like when it jolts?
No, it's like... I mean, you're, like, going, like... I mean, you're going, like, 70 miles an hour, and you're in a big steel box, basically. And it's going like this, and it's throwing you up in the air, and you're landing down on hard steel, like, and you can't brace yourself. Like, the more you try to brace yourself, the worse it is. But then if you don't brace yourself, then that sucks too. So, like, sometimes riding trains sucks. I mean, not all rides are like that, but every once in a while you just get on something that's just gonna throw you around.
But when you get drunk, your body goes limp, so you don't get hurt.
Yeah, that's why you just gotta drink about it. But no, I mean, like, riding trains is cool. I mean, you get to see some cool sights and shit. But it's cold and it fucking snows. I mean, yeah, like, I think everybody thinks you're, like, inside a boxcar or, like, you're, like, whatever. Like, I think it's the typical, like, image of a hobo. Somebody sitting inside a boxcar. They got their, like, but, like, no, dude, like, I mean, yeah, you ride boxcars, but those are normally the ones that shake like that and fuck you up, like, because they're old and they don't get maintained as much. They're barely even there except for weight. Like, they barely even use them to transport anything. Maybe some trash or something every once in a while, but, like, it's really not like a... It's mostly just there for weight, I think. Like,
you want like a loaded down train.
Yeah, you can kind of tell if you look at the, you know, you see the shocks on it. If the springs, like, if the springs are all the way squished down, then it should be loaded. But they could just be rusted like that too. Like, so you might be wrong.
It could be like really good or really bad.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't know. Like, trains are just crazy. I mean, it is exciting, and it can be beautiful. But it also sucks a lot.
It can
like,
also be the worst day of your life.
Yeah, most of the time when people ask me what I like about riding trains, I tell them getting off. But yeah, I don't know. It is fun. I mean, it's an addiction, though. I mean, it's an adrenaline rush. Every time you get on one, and every time you get off of one. But the whole time while you're sitting on there, you're just waiting for it to be over normally. Or sleeping your way through.
How many tries does it take to get on it?
Oh, well, I mean...
They look like they're going pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. No, I mean, it's just... You think trains never stop moving?
Okay. In my mind, you're always like running and hopping on.
I mean, they have to stop somewhere, right?
In the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, trains obviously stop.
I only have like movie experience.
Right, yeah, but they stop.
Okay.
Can you imagine if they just kept us doing this, like, forever?
Well,
They never stop.
I imagine like when they're stopped, they're like more heavily scrutinized and like guarded by like cops or something.
Depends where you are.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't, like, easy, like, you know, but, like, it's just, like, eventually you figure it out, you know, and just don't be dumb. It's just like anything. Just don't be stupid and figure it out. I mean, you can't just, like, jump on a train tomorrow and think it's going to go great for you or something, you're like, but, I mean, just don't be stupid, you know, like, I mean, if you can get on it without falling, if it looks like you can sit on it without falling off, it's probably okay.
Who's the most interesting person you've met on the streets?
Crazy people.
Crazy people?
There's a guy down here named Chris, he's pretty interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
What's interesting about him?
He's like crazy as fuck, but he's not. Like, he's super smart. It's almost like he just can't turn it off or something. But he's like really cool. Like, when you talk to me or nice to him, he's totally normal. He gave me this flower that's in my hair.
That's pretty.
Yeah. But you can tell he's uninterested with anything except for what he's doing at the moment. I mean, you can tell he does a lot of drugs and stuff, but it's like whatever. Like, I guess, like, you have to do drugs if you're gonna sleep outside in the cold and the rain all the time. At least get drunk. I mean, I drink every day. Like, can't sit around and have people talk shit to you all day long without taking a drink about it, you know? Like, I mean, but he's still really cool. But it's so funny because you just see him sitting there, and there's all these random, like, drug addicts that come up and they tell him all of their life problems because he'll just listen, and they don't think he really takes it in, but he actually is really smart. Like, he probably knows every bad thing that's ever happened in Little 5 Points. Probably knows everything about everybody, and nobody thinks that he takes it in, but like he takes in everything. He remembers my name, who I am, like every time. Like he remembers every little detail. Like tell him something earlier. Now. Yeah, no, and it's just funny because everybody overlooks him, but they all talk to him like he's like their personal like vault where they can tell all their dirty secrets to. But he's completely aware.
It's funny how some people have that effect on people.
Yeah, because he's just really calm and nice, but he doesn't seem like he's there, but he really is, you know, and it's funny. I just like watch, but he always comes over, he's a really cool guy. I really like him. I've had really good conversations with him too. He's told me about how he grew up and how he ended up out here, and he's completely coherent, but nobody thinks so. And so he just sits there quietly while everybody tells him everything, and it cracks me up.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What's
There are a lot of interesting people out here. I think the crazy ones are the most interesting.
You have a good story about someone or something that's happened to you out here?
So my friend, well, I got some good stories. I mean, all right, so my friend Bryce, who's dead now, one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. I don't know if he was crazy, if he was just really excited, and that maybe he did a little too much drugs or something when he was younger, but you know Bryce, right? I mean, come on, he's the coolest person in the world.
Right, went to jail right there.
The funniest person in the world. So, all right, so it's me and like 10 other train riders, and we all hopped from Bakersfield to Colton, California, trying to go to Vegas for Halloween.
Okay.
We're all really bad alcoholics at the time, like bad alcoholics, like on the verge of having seizures. Like if we don't drink alcohol, we might actually die. And we're like, it's bad. We're like shaking, like some of us are puking in our own laps. We're on a shaker. Oh man, like I was talking about those boxcar shakers. So we're coming into Colton out of Bakersfield. We all jumped on a boxcar because there's a lot of us, so it's hard to get a ride with everybody, and we were all having a lot of fun drinking together. Well, we had a lot of booze when we got on the train, so it seemed fine. Like we should totally make it to Colton with all this booze and be able to get more booze and then get on the next train to Vegas. No, but it doesn't happen like that because we hit the Tehachapi and something derailed, which the Tehachapi loop goes like this, no joke. And it's a very tight loop, and trains derail off of it. Every time you go through there's a train that just derailed right on the side of the fucking path. And you're like, that could have been us. Drink about it, like, you know. So all of a sudden we stopped though because the train derailed. We're sitting on the tracks, and it was funny because like the way we were looped, we were like eye to eye with the engineer. Like his window is where our boxcar door is open, so he can see us. There's a lot of us, and we're sitting on the edge smoking. We realize we're like literally. I mean, it's like a half a mile, but it's still like. If he's looking at us, there's no way he's not gonna see 10 kids with their legs swinging over the side of a boxcar smoking, right? My friend Donnie, but we're not like, he ain't looking at us. He's not looking at us. We're drinking, whatever. The train still isn't moving. Like hours go by, the booze is gone. We gave we had 10 kids, 10 dogs. Gave them all the water. It's summertime. It's getting hotter. I mean, it's October, but it's summertime in fucking California, dude. It's 110 degrees right then. Sitting on a metal box. All sun, all the water given to the dogs. We've already gone through all of our granola bars. We got this much booze, we're like spidering it around, hoping that the train's gonna move. It doesn't move. My friend Donnie finally is like, fuck this. I need to let my dog take a shit. Like this is like 4 hours later. We should already we should be almost to Colton by now. It's 4 hours, we're just sitting there stopped, haven't moved in the hot sun. So Donnie gets off the train and he's like, all right, Weevil, take a shit. So she starts taking a shit, but I think the engineer saw him get off and thought it was funny. So the engineer starts moving the train, but just like really slow. So Donnie grabs Weevil, throws her up, gets back on the train. As soon as he gets on the train, it stops. And then it stops for like 10 minutes, right? Donnie's like, whatever, this ain't really going, or he must have just been stretching the wheels. So he gets back off. Weevil starts taking a shit again. Train starts moving again. Johnny's like, what the fuck? Grabs Weevil, throws her back on. It goes a little bit further. He gets back on, stops immediately. Weeble's like Donnie just starts cussing at the engineer. He's like, "Are you fucking with me?" We're like in the middle of nowhere, like on this thing, and he totally was the engineer. You could see us, and he was just laughing at Donnie, getting back on. It went on like 5 times. Donnie keeps getting on. But anyways, finally the train gets go. We get to Colton. We're all done. We're out of booze. Like 2 of my friends were like suicidal on the train. They're shaking so bad. Like I'm like, man, this fucking sucks. We get into fucking Colton. It's fucking nighttime. You can't make shit. We all fucking like get in our sleeping bags and we just die that night. Like everybody just died. We're like, we're not gonna make it, dude. We can't. I mean, and alcohol DTs are rough. You get anxiety like a motherfucker. You can't even look at somebody in the eyes, let alone asking for some money. You can't even, like, man, whoo, it's rough. And like, I'm like, so you know, we're all just like laying in the sand. Well, in Colton, the place job out, it's all sandy. It's a steep ass ditch. Only one side is, but we got kicked out of the other side. Or at least we had been already. Like, they don't like people sitting over there anymore, so everybody goes to the deep side now. So it's like a 80-degree angle straight down into the fucking pit where you sit and wait for your train, and it's all sand, and it's wet, and it's a hard climb back out. We all roll down into there, like die for the night. We all put on our sleeping bags and go to sleep. Next morning, everybody's puking. We're all gonna die. My friend Bryce, may he rest in peace. This is actually a shopping cart angel for Bryce, because he's my shopping cart angel. So anyways,
That's really cool.
So the next morning we wake up, we're all puking in our laps, everybody's dying. Bryce is dying too, but Bryce is superhuman. Like for some reason, Bryce just always was ready to go, like always. He was really loud, and he was in the face, and he was really serious all the time, but he was the best guy in the world. So anyways, Bryce just goes, he walks up halfway up the hill and he puts his hands on his hips like he's fucking Superman or something. And he goes, "I'll be back. Sleazy, let's go." My friend Sleazy crawls out of his sleeping bag dying. He's like, "All right, bro, let's go." Hours go by. Like, I'm like, the fucking bastard probably went and staged up a 12-pack, left us all here to die. We're all still dying. Like, none of us, we can barely even move, you know? We're all fucked. All of a sudden, you just hear coming down the concrete. Here comes Bryce riding a shopping cart full of stolen half-gallons down the side of the sandy hill.
Half-gallon, like water?
Half-gallons of booze.
Speaking of which.
So he's got these half-gallons of booze, and they're all bottom shelf. They because they have like Taka, Black Velvet.
Why don't you steal top shelf?
So I'm sitting there, you know, I'm stoked or whatever, but I'm a bitch. I talk too much. I'm like, Bryce, and thank you so much. You saved all of our lives. You know, we're all passing around the half-gallons. Everybody's alive again. We can all breathe. None of us are puking anymore. We can finally talk to each other without cussing each other out or puking. And finally, I'm like, Bryce, this is really cool. You got these. But how would you steal nothing but like the cheapest booze? If you're gonna steal some booze, why not at least steal something good? But I'm wearing a real tree Jack Daniels hat, you know. So Bryce looks at me. Me and him hung out quite a few times. We're pretty close. So he like respects me a lot, you know, and he's just like, "I'll be back." So there was 26 half-gallons in that first shopping cart. There were 6 of us. That's the first day. So anyways, Bryce leaves. Half an hour later, he comes back with then like New Amsterdam, Belvedere, Jack Daniels, cases of dog food. No human food, no jugs of water. For the dogs, if you want food, you get it yourself. That's what Bryce said. Anyways, so we drank, I don't know, it turned out being like 36 half-gallons in 3 days between 6 people.
Did you guys make it to Vegas?
No. Donnie did the day after Halloween. Because he left, he couldn't hang. But anyways, it was a good time. Bryce is the coolest, and he never, anytime anybody needed anything, Bryce is always there. That's literally my favorite person that's ever been on the road. I mean, I have a lot of favorite people, but that's what anytime I ever think about him, I start laughing and smiling. And
that sounds like a really
he's remembered from everywhere. Like, that's why he's the shopping cart angel. Like, everybody knows him, but they loved him. Like, Roswell, California, he used to walk into the Walmart where, like, you hop out near there, but you don't hop out there. There's, like, another spot where everybody hangs out. Like all the train riders meet up there and party and shit. And like there's a Walmart right next to it. And like he would go in there. If he was there, he was in there every day stealing half gallons for everybody. Because you can't make money in that town. Like there's too many train riders. Everybody's over it. So.
How long does it take to go across the country on train?
2 weeks tops. Probably.
Depends on your drinking habits.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like if you were to ride hard, probably not even 2 weeks, but.
Really?
Yeah. But you just gotta. I mean, but you're talking like straight lines. Like.
What's the best way to stay warm when you're on a train?
Have good gear.
Do what?
Have good gear.
Have good.
Gear, good
Gear,
sleeping
yeah.
bag, good backpack, good jacket, a tarp.
Yeah.
You know, the normal things you go camping with.
Do people ever go on top of trains, or are they always on the side?
In Mexico, they do.
They have to ride
It's
in.
like the only way they do it in Mexico.
Yeah, they have to ride on the tops in Mexico.
You don't have to.
Well, because you don't want to get on somebody's boxcar, you might get killed.
Yeah. But they would do it regardless.
But they're always full. In Mexico, they ride like they hang off the sides of them and shit. Like, they don't even care. Like, it's a ride.
What do you guys think the worst drug is on the streets? Or like, probably, maybe it's like
Heroin, fentanyl, and meth.
people just get violent with it.
No, I
They
mean,
die.
fentanyl kills everybody.
Oh,
It
okay.
kills everybody. Meth just makes people suck.
The train riders, do they steal from each other, or are they pretty nice to each other?
Normally, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you can't say that everybody is like that, but most people, there's kind of like a code. You don't. Everybody
Yeah.
respects each other. They all
Okay, so
take care of each other. Like, I've literally traveled across the country to get my friend's dog out of the pound, and we all do stuff like that for each other. Like, literally travel 1,000 miles, pay money out of your own pocket to make sure somebody doesn't lose their dog, you know, and that's just common practice.
It's
Like,
not ours.
I mean, we go above
He's
and
making
beyond
a
for each
documentary or
other.
some shit.
We'll stay in a town we already got kicked out of while our friend's in jail, just holding onto their gear so when they get out, they don't freeze to death, you know, like, you just, I mean, there really is there's like some kind of camaraderie out here, but there are a lot of pieces of shits out here. I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I think overall people take care of each other and are pretty good people. You know, honestly, like, I mean, I have a lot of people I hate out here that have done some shitty shit, but I mean, there's bad people everywhere.
yeah,
I think overall people take care of each other.
interesting.
So yeah, I don't know, that's my story.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know anything that people like maybe might not know about living on the streets that maybe is normal to you guys.
Sleeping in the rain.
It's probably gonna rain.
Sleeping in the rain.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, I gotta go figure out where I'm gonna sleep tonight. Ain't easy. You don't,
An
you know?
underpass or like find like.
If you're lucky to find one that they don't freaking, I mean, they bum-proof that shit nowadays. I mean, they bum-proof it, or there's some other creepy-ass bum under there that you don't want to sleep next to. I mean, you got like schizophrenic pedophiles that are also on the street
The crowd here
that
is-
piss on themselves and shit on themselves and piss right next to where they sleep. You don't want to sleep next to those people. It's like people always are like, why don't you go to a shelter? Well, first of all, shelters don't allow dogs.
okay.
Second of all, you want to go sleep next to some dude that probably raped his daughter and has lost his mind and he lives outside?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to sleep next to that. He probably has bed bugs, lice, and fucking scabies. Do you want to sleep next to somebody like that? No.
What do you guys think in your experience? What's like the best shelter or church or like
None.
help? There,
None.
Last year.
Well, I
this
guess
dude-
Louisville, Kentucky. Actually, I will say that Fed with Faith in Louisville, Kentucky, is somebody who actually used to be homeless and now he does it because he understands and he really does it. His name is Gene Minute. Oh, I can't think of his last name. I feel bad, but Fed with Faith, anyways.
Okay.
They out of Louisville, Kentucky. They actually care. They run a recovery, but they also do a homeless transition house that's non-judgmental. They allow dogs. They don't charge a deposit, and they are very forgiving and will always help you and try to help you find a job without any judgment. They didn't drug test me. They didn't judge me for being an alcoholic. They saw that I wanted to do something and was willing to do the steps, and they helped me do it. And they actually did help me. And I was able to be me without being confined to some little box like they always try to put people in and that are trying to get off the streets. And it's too hard to live by that shit. They put people, it's like That's why parole and shit like that don't work, dude. You can't put a million rules on somebody that's just trying to get their shit together and then punish them for just making one little mistake.
Yeah.
And so many part of our system, that's what they do, and so nobody ever gets better. It's just so much easier to fail. So, Fed with Faith in Louisville doesn't do that.
What were you gonna say?
Not this Thanksgiving, but last year. Cause I was here last year too for a long time. This dude, he's not part of a church or anything. He just made a bunch of Thanksgiving
that guy's
food
really cool.
and brought a bunch of beer and like little shooters of vodka.
Really?
And he had a bag of 5 cigarettes in it. He was like, "You like menthol or red?" I was like, "Red, of course." But he's like, "Do you like to drink?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I drink too. You should."
What's that?
Vitamin
That
water.
ginger ale. Or is that whiskey? It looks
No,
like whiskey.
It's not.
Oh, you're right. Damn it.
And so it just, cause at first I wasn't gonna go. I was like, I don't care about that food. And then one dude came back. I was like, dude, he's handing out fancy beers and liquor and cigarettes. I'm like, why didn't he say that to start with? So I go back there and it was like really good turkey and cranberry sauce and all the Thanksgiving shit. And then gave me a beer and he said vodka or whiskey. And I was like, vodka. He's like, red or green cigarettes? Like, red. He's like, I party, y'all should too. But it was just a guy doing it on his own. It wasn't part of any organization or anything.
That's great.
That's why I like the South most, because he could have.
So I
He
have
dropped
one
like
more thing
$2,000.
When you're done, I have one more thing to say
on
that I don't think that
just
most
feeding
people don't
homeless people and
understand.
giving them booze.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like people don't. I don't think that one more thing about people that aren't homeless that don't understand, and businesses and everywhere, is do you know that it's illegal to use the bathroom when you're homeless? Yet you can't. There are no public bathrooms anywhere. Yet you get in trouble if you piss or shit on the street.
Well, like
Shouldn't
when
that
you
be
go
a
to
human
Starbucks
right?
and there's a
Yeah.
Shouldn't
keypad.
it be a human right to be able to use a bathroom? If it's illegal to shit on the sidewalk, then how come I can't use your restroom?
That is really true. And there's not.
And
many
I
public
understand that some people abuse that right and use bathrooms for the wrong reasons, but you should still be able to use a fucking restroom.
Yeah.
And then you get in trouble because you shat next to their dumpster, but yet what am I supposed to do?
You have no option.
What would you do? Like, what if you were, like, you have a job in a house and no one will let you use the bathroom, you're somewhere you've never been before, no one will let you use your bathroom? Are you going to shit your pants or shit on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
What do you think? So people should think about that. That's one of the things I do have to say.
Looks like in New York, phone booths aren't phone booths, they're urinals.
But that's because
No matter if you're homeless or a
Yeah.
yuppie,
Where are you
everyone's
supposed to
peeing
go?
in the phone booth pretending to make a
What
call.
where are the public bathrooms? And then even at like public bathrooms and parks, they lock them at like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So from 8 o'clock until 9 in the morning, you don't get to use a bathroom. You don't have the right to use a restroom.
I never thought about that.
Nobody does. That's
Yeah.
that's the most important thing I think people need to realize.
Interesting.
Pu-
So, how long have you been on the streets?
I say like 11 years.
11, something like that. Off and on.
Okay. And how'd you end up out here?
A woman.
Daniel's got that typical Southern story.
I had a
Lost his
landscaping
car and his
company.
house and his dog and his wife.
Was worth almost $500,000, and I went to jail for weed. And when I got out, it was all gone. I had $63 in my bank account. So I was like, well, that's the biggest kick in the ass to go travel.
And, you see a lot of travelers in Baton Rouge, so it's an easy transition, I guess.
This was Katy, Texas.
Oh yeah, Katie too.
Then I went to Austin, and then Pittsburgh, and then over to Oregon.
On
And
trains?
no, I hitched to Pittsburgh, and then met this guy, had a van, and we just drove all the way to Oregon. And I hung out in Northern California for a while because I thought it was the promised land. And then I realized it was better back down here anyway.
Interesting.
Because,
Hi. Oh really?
I thought,
Thank you so much for coming back, y'all.
for
I
being
really
from like
appreciate
Louisiana,
it.
Houston, just assume like,
I love
they
your
all
brain,
grow
it's
weed
beautiful.
and it's all cool and
Paradise.
everyone's open-minded and accepting. No, it's
Cool.
It's
We got a
just
$2
so
bill. We're
cool.
lucky as fuck.
it's the same as everywhere else.
$2 bills. We have there's something.
It's the same as everywhere else, but they just don't arrest you for smoking weed. It's the only difference, really.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Like, because of San Francisco, you'd think they're open with gay stuff and non-racial stuff, it's the same as anywhere else.
Unless you're on the Castro.
You're just allowed to smoke weed there.
Yeah.
That's the only
San
real
Francisco,
difference.
if you're on the Castro, then be as gay as you want. The rest of San Francisco is about like the rest of the country.
Yeah.
So you guys been all over the U.S. #1 city for being homeless and the worst city for being homeless?
No.
Like,
I'll tell you the worst one.
like favorite place or best to be homeless?
What's your favorite place for being homeless for whatever your reason is?
The country of Texas.
Texas?
Yes.
The whole
That's
place
the best
except
place
for
to
Dallas.
be homeless for sure.
Yeah.
Just because it's weird, like I don't know, it's got this weird big like stereotype around it to make it seem like they'd be really intolerant. But it's really like the most tolerant place in the world. I think they just have that big scary persona to keep hippies out. Because once you're there and you hang out, everybody's so everybody's excited that you travel.
It's not as
They're
like strict and conservative as you think it is.
No, it's really not. No, you
Yeah,
know what
I
mean?
graduated high school in
Then
Katy.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it's like, oh, big scary Texas, but then once you're hanging out there, it's like the coolest place in the world, dude.
Steers
You
and
know what I
queers.
mean, like, you know
Plus
what I
they
mean?
got
Like,
Willie
they're
Nelson.
like, we're tough in Texas. Don't
Waylon.
mess with us. Don't you bring your hippie ass down here. But then you get in there, everybody's smoking weed, and like everybody's like gay and partying, and you're like, what the fuck, Texas? Why are you so cool?
Alright, so what about the worst one?
Florida.
Arizona, Florida, Arizona. What else?
How much time you got?
Right, Florida's the worst.
Florida is
man.
Georgia's dick, and the cops are bad. The people suck. I don't consider it the South. They're all fucking assholes.
So yeah, Arizona. I'd say Arizona, Florida. Well, only actually specifically Phoenix, Arizona. Sucks. Where else?
Stories about one of the two states that stick out in your mind?
Oh man. You tell me a bad story about Florida. Where to start?
Well, Arizona. I was coming from California, going back to Texas, and I had like 2 roaches in my cigarette pack, and I get stopped downtown. In Phoenix, 1 block is a good 8-mile walk.
Oh yeah.
Like on Mill Ave. Like, yeah, it's 3 blocks down.
It's
Oh,
like
in New
120
Mexico.
degrees.
Yeah, but out of nowhere, these
That means the
like,
concrete's like 100
like
degrees.
construction looking type
My dog almost
dude
passed
just come
out.
up, pull their badges
Fuck
out
that
on
shit.
me, and like don't ask. They just start going through my pack, and they grab my cigarettes.
Oh, it's
And there's
very
2 roaches, and they're like, "Oh, that's interstate trafficking." I'm like,
Oklahoma.
no, yeah, Oklahoma's up there.
Oklahoma.
We need to build a wall around that one too. Drop a cyanide bomb on it.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, we're building a
Most
wall.
inbred
but we're building
state in the
around
country.
Oklahoma.
That's why they have that weird Oklahoma
God.
face. That like
Oklahoma is out of
Okie
control.
face.
You know, everybody looks at you like this. You're like, what are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that? That.
I've never been to Oklahoma.
Don't go.
don't go. You ain't missing
You
shit.
ain't missing shit.
Never again.
And it's all Oklahoma City. No, no, it's all Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City is the worst city in the world.
Isn't Oklahoma City like an intersection between a lot of drug routes?
Yeah, that's why everybody sucks there. I imagine they're all high on meth.
So is
They're all
Kansas
messed
City.
out of
though.
their minds and fucking. They don't make no sense. They all live in a trail. It's one giant trailer park. I fucking hate it.
Tulsa's worse, I think.
Oh yeah.
Tulsa's worse, and that's college town.
Where else? I can tell you, like everywhere sucks, dude. It just depends.
But
Everywhere
Oklahoma
is the same, and
really
everywhere
sucks.
is different. Everywhere sucks, and everywhere is awesome.
If you like to drink,
I've had
Oklahoma's
good
not
times
the
in
place.
Oklahoma City too, though. And I hate that place, but I got good friends there. I've had people that housed me up and took good care of me. But most of the time, it's just a bunch of crackheads, and tweakers, and weirdos, and no one will even buy you a fucking sandwich. And it's 1,000,000 degrees for no goddamn reason. And there are no trees.
And they don't know how to make
Well, you don't
barbecue.
know trees? Like, nobody's got no
So you had a landscaping business. You went and how'd you go from landscaping? You went to jail and then you came out and
It was all gone.
it was all gone and then you just
She stole all of his money and took off and then wouldn't return his calls.
and then you went to the streets and you've been here since.
Oh, I started traveling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then 11 years.
No.
I don't think so.
No, I think it's trash.
It
food.
just looks like trash.
That's where I got the other
it
good
does.
food.
Oh, okay, I'm good.
Recycle it, make full car.
Oh God, no, thank you. You have a beautiful night.
Yes, y'all too. God bless y'all.
You want to take this? It might be recyclable too.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Cool.
Here, drop it in here.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly. Y'all
Have a
stay
beautiful
safe.
night.
So you've been here for 11 years. You was most interesting person.
Not here, traveling.
Yeah.
Don't insult the man like that.
There's this one dude in New York that lives in the subway, super crackhead, and me and my friend.
You know his name?
No, I don't know his name.
That's cool.
He was always being really wingnutty, and then one day my friend Greg walked up to him and goes, "We know what you're thinking. We're with the CIA," and gave him some foil. And he's like,
I'm
"You
gonna go
think
get
too
water
loud."
so you talk on this for a while.
No, it's cool. I got a mic on him right
Oh,
here.
okay,
Oh.
cool.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you hold on to that then. I'm gonna go get water.
Okay.
Get cigarettes.
Cigarettes to you?
Yeah.
Alright.
But in Flagstaff, me and my friend Will met Wild Zombie, Rob Zombie's brother.
Who's
And-
Rob Zombie?
Like he made Devil's Rejects and
Okay.
like White Zombie. He does music and horror movies and shit.
Okay.
And like pretty famous dude in horror movies and like shitty metal music. And sit down. And she's not his brother, but she had all kinds of stories. Like Sharon Stone's her mother. She's blind and deaf, but the military put a chip in her head that allows her to see and hear, but it's all recorded with the military. And she killed the guy that did 9/11 in McDonald's in Flagstaff. She used to shoot up Sharon Stone when she was 3 years old, when she was blind and deaf, with heroin while she poured her glasses of wine. And then she was friends with Snoop Dogg. Snoop gave her a tattoo, but they stole it.
What do you mean?
Like they cut it off of her. Every story she tells ends with, "Then I got shot in the face." She won Survivor 8 times, but with different body, different face and different tits, and really good cook though.
Really?
Really good cook. Smoked a lot of weed. Cooked really awesome food, but at first, me and my friend were like, "Dude, she's gonna kill us if we stay here. I think she's crazy." And an hour later, I was like, "I think she believes this shit." Like you could see in her face, like
she's, yeah.
in her mind that happened. And then she had like 2 sticks tied to a tree. It said, "Oh, this is for a famous Navajo. I'm having his ceremony here. It's Prince." It's like right after he died, I was like, "No, you believe this shit, don't you? You're fucking out of your goddamn mind."
That's crazy.
But she believed it.
Yeah.
And, good cook though. Knew her way around some green chili, that's for sure.
what type of food did she cook?
It was weird. She cooked like spaghetti with peppers and green chili, but it was awesome.
It was good?
Yeah, it looked horrible, but then it was good. It's one thing I learned growing up in Louisiana. If it looks like shit, it might be fucking fire.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Have you met any like really mean people out here?
Oh yeah. Mostly cops.
Really?
But there's a lot of like. To me, it all comes down to your upbringing. Like a lot of people will stop up there when you're like panhandling or flying a sign, and as they floor it away at a green light, they'll say get a job.
Who?
But
The cops or people?
Just any people.
Yeah.
Which I don't care. Give me a job, but you never will.
Yeah.
And I don't know, some tweakers will steal your shit and then help you look for it.
Yeah.
Mostly cops though. Like when we were in Nashville and Goodlettsville, they ran my name. I had an old warrant I forgot about. I was only in jail for like 5 hours because I made a court date that I'm going back to. But the same cops that arrested me bought her a hotel room and bought her $10 gift certificate to Captain D's.
What?
And then I got out of jail and went back up there on the bus, but they didn't have to take me to jail. They could have, because it was snowing, we're in an abandoned Jack-in-the-Box, and that's why they came to run my name, but they could have just told us to kick rocks, which I guess it worked out kind of because we got a hotel for the night, and then I got to go watch the Saints lose in jail by a fucking field goal.
This year?
This year before.
Yeah, that game was bullshit.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking, they're up by like 20 or more the whole time. In the very end, they lose by a field goal in overtime.
It was pass interference. We got robbed.
Yeah,
I
totally.
hated that game.
Yeah, there's this video my friend put on my Facebook of it's a dude in New Orleans, and right at the end when they lose, he just knocks his TV out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it should have been New Orleans and Kansas City. Instead, I'm sure the Pats cheated again, and because I knew they were gonna win, they cheat every time, and they get caught and they get to keep the bowl.
I wanted to see New Orleans versus the Patriots.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Drew Brees probably would have whooped Brady's ass.
I think so.
Yeah, definitely. Because fuck New England, dude. They suck. Yeah, but it could have been an all-South Super Bowl, but New England and New Orleans would have been cool. The Rams, I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah, no one.
Yeah.
Not even people in
I
LA.
didn't even know they went to LA. I thought they were still in St. Louis.
Hey, what's how many girls versus guys? I presume it's a lot more guys on the streets.
Yeah.
Like 50-50, 60-40, 80-90, or 90-20, 90-10?
I don't know, I guess I would say like 60-40, varying.
Okay.
But most of the girls are like psychotic and crazy.
Really?
Like, we're talking the other night how like, can you count 5 cool girls on the road? And I had to pull some dead friends out too to make it 5.
Wow.
But there's about, I would say probably like 5 to 7 cool girls that travel. The other ones are just slutty ass junkies that are crazy and annoying.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could say the same about dudes. Most of them are fucking retarded too. Because it used to be everyone that rode trains just drank all the time, and then like 6-7 years ago, everyone just switched to heroin and probably like just dropping like flies.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a dangerous drug.
It is dangerous. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna risk an abscess. You might die. It's not like a beer. When you drink a beer, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
When you shoot dope, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that could be the fucking fire shit, or it could be nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like smoking a joint. Like, when you're good, you put it out. Once it's in, it's in.
Yeah.
And a lot of people die on it. Like, some people, I give a shit if they die. But some of them, it's like a big deal. But yeah, I think it's stupid. I'd rather just drink and smoke weed.
Do a lot of people on the road, do they go back home ever to like their families, or are they more estranged from their families?
Some of them go, I mean, yeah, some go back and visit their family every year. Some people are not allowed back at their parents' house, or they don't have parents anymore, or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, some of my friends, this is it, unless they magically get their shit together and get a house and a job and all that.
Yeah.
Like, some people, this is it. Like, their family's dead or some crazy accident or something. But some people don't want to go back home.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I consider like my friends out here way more family than my actual kin.
Yeah. Especially because you live
Well, you're with each other like 24/7 and
shared
from
experience.
coast to coast. Especially with Facebook now, like everyone knows everything out here.
Yeah.
Like, something could happen an hour ago, and for the most part, the traveling community will know about it by morning time. Threats will be made. Crews will form. I don't know. It's cool, but it was a lot fun when I started. Now it's just kind of repetitive, but kind of like set in my ways.
Yeah.
Of just moving around and doing that. Like, a year ago, I did like tree logging up in Kentucky.
Uh-huh.
Which was a good job, but everyone that worked there were super tweakers, and they didn't realize you can't work 26 hours a day, because they would just do meth, and I wasn't allowed to buy beer, so we're just working hard. I was like, one day your meth is going to be out, and you're going to have one hell of a calm down.
Yeah.
But I just like saved up money there, and then came down here, and then I stayed here for a while. I was struggling on heroin, but I haven't really done it since then. Then I went to New Orleans, and then Texas, Denver, and then looped around very slowly. When I first started traveling, I had a 3-day rule. 3 days into town, I'm gone. It's more like a 3-week rule now.
Yeah.
Or more. kind of till I get bored of it. Like we've been down in East Atlanta because we got sick of Little 5, but it's just like a block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, essentially,
pretty close.
it's Vortex, Little 5 pizza area, and then the Tweaker Zoo down there in the square. That's a triangle.
Yeah.
By the weed shop and the cop shop down there. I can't really handle being in that square for more than about 5 minutes.
It's pretty
before
wild.
I want to blow my brains out.
I was gonna talk to some of
There's
the
like
guys
12
there,
people
but-
talking. I was like, is
Yeah.
anyone actually talking to anyone?
Yeah, it doesn't seem so.
Yeah, no, it's a special place over there.
Well, what's your favorite? What do you like about Atlanta? Is there like an area that's better, or
I like East Atlanta, like
East
down.
Atlanta Village?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we usually go at night. We just came down here because we were like, we're eating Indian food today. That was the only reason we came back to Little 5 was
And it
Indian
happened.
food. Yeah, it did happen. We got it one way or another. But yeah, East Atlanta's cooler. It's a lot more Atlanta type people instead of like these hipster, tourist, hippie, weird things that exist in Little 5. I don't know.
Yeah, like SCAD. You know SCAD?
I don't know.
It's like a local art school here.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of the
Oh,
students.
it's right
come
here's
there.
like. It reminds me of like Haight Street in San Francisco.
I've never been.
An old hippie neighborhood that's gone to shit because the meth and heroin bomb went off.
Oh, shit.
And like the types of stores, like I'm sure in the 60s this was the place to be. But I don't know, it's weird. I like New Orleans type places more where like the shithole's right out front. It's not hiding behind the scenes. It's right out front.
Yeah.
Like Philly or New York or New Orleans. There is no underground slimy scene. It's right out in front.
So shake my hand and don't. I'm about to smoke some weed. You want to smoke some weed?